Hi everyone. As you can see behind me, I've got a H2 behind me. I am going to start building the H2 back up again. I've got the engine back, as you might just see there, but I'm just over my, as you're looking at, right shoulder. That side. Yeah. Okay. What I'm doing is fitting the loom, because the loom's easy to fit round through the top of the frame around the clocks area with the engine out. So I'm going to do that first, put it all into place, probably put the clocks in situ, anything else we can around that area. And then the back end of the loom will be left loose over the wheel, because I need to put the rear sub frame on after that. But the rear sub frame doesn't go on until I have put the engine in, because there's 4 engine bolts, as I was showing when I was taking it apart. That is difficult to get to with the rear subframe on. I suppose you can get to it if you had the right sort of angled spanners and that, or sockets and that, but I've decided to take the rear subframe off for ease of use, because I need to do some modifications to that anyway. Right, I've got all brand new bolts from Kawasaki for the engine mounts, so we shouldn't go wrong there. I need to dig the manual out, or I'll have a look at an online manual actually. The manual is actually in the van, and as you can see from my difficulties with being in a wheelchair and not being on a leg, I won't be able to get in the van easy. I normally get someone else to do it. So I am going to start on that now, and I'll show you some key points, areas to watch out for when you're doing it, and hopefully the best way of doing it. It's the first time I'm going to be fitting it all. I am actually fitting a later loom than this bike. This bike is a 2015 model, the very first one that come out, but I have got a 2018 loom, clocks, ECU, gyro, everything. That's so hopefully that I can use the latest wheelie control, which is supposed to be far superior than the early one, and traction control, especially being on the road, because this bike should be over 300 horsepower once it's done. It all depends. We did have it mapped with standard cams in, stage 3 gears, and we managed to get 297 at the rear wheel in a 40°C dyno room, which heat saps power, so we reckon it would have nudged over 300 anyway. But we've had the cams reprofiled by King Cams. It's supposed to be on a similar spec to a performance ZX10 cams, you know, what they use for on the racetrack, rather than standard that's in it now. Should be in between somewhere with the H2R cams and the H2 cams. So I still ride this on the road, so I need a bit of ease of use and smoothness. Unfortunately, because I'm having a new ECU, got to totally remap most of it. I do use power commanders for the fueling, but for a lot of the other ignition stuff, we have messed about and second throttle body stuff and all that inside. Not second throttle body, but all the other little features are in the ECU. We may even map it at the ECU. We're not sure yet. We'll see where we go when we get to that stage. I'm starting this now, but it might not be finished for a while, because I'm still doing my drag bike, but I'm waiting for parts from Kawasaki for the drag bike. It's pretty much close to being what I need to do. I need to film what I did on that the other night, because I forgot to bring the camera in, or phone in, as you normally use. Right, I'll get cracking. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to go around the other side, I think. Alright, see you in a bit. You can see it's a bit of a rat's nest trying to do this, because underneath here at the back there's a relay box that goes on a bracket. Then you've got the control box for your electronic steering dampener, drop sensor or tilt sensor, and then other little plugs. That plugs to the right hand switch gear. These wires I've got out are going to be connected up to my LED indicators, bar end indicators, to the other side. I'm going to put on connectors. This is the gyroscope thing. It goes on a bracket. I've been having a look, and the bracket somehow goes mounts to, I haven't got them yet, to this part, and then that mounts to it under the fairing somehow. Right, I've ordered the bracket, all the screws and everything for that. Then obviously your ECU, that's part of your alarm and your immobiliser system. The bracketry for that unfortunately goes on to bolts to the nose cone for the ECU, and I think the one for that is as well, because I've not found it in amongst what else I'm looking for. It's just a bit of a pain in the ass. It's like I put the loom through there, and all this is here loose at the moment until I get the engine in, and then they will go into place. You've got an earth here and a clip there. All this is your tail piece loom. This is your main loom that goes through to the what's name, and then this one goes to your top injectors, your accelerometers and throttle position things and what have you. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try and get the engine in, watching I don't catch anything, and then I'm going to put the back bolts in. One there, you see there's 4 of them, and I'm going to put one on each side of the thingy bolts. I'm going to leave this one off for now, just so I can mess about tucking the loom in and out, and then I might finish there because it's getting quite dark. I'll speak to you shortly. Hi ladies and gentlemen, as you see the engine is now in. There was 4 bolts at the back and 2 either side here. Alright, as you see the way I've strapped it from the lower under the sump as well, trying not to catch anything to what's the name, and around the front so it didn't tip forward. Up, the ratchet is strapped round and up to a winch. Now those ratchet straps, because they've got 2 stripes with 2 stripes on them, a 2-ton braking strain, so that's more than enough. And the winch does 300 odd kilos, which is more than enough for this bike. Ended up lifting it up, and the rear, see one there, they meet up, and then you can get a bolt in there, and on the other side, you've got to be careful to do this so you don't strip the thread on the block or on the bolt, and then tighten it up slowly, and then you start drawing them in. If you get it in the right position, you've got to jiggle around with the engine lift up and down to see if you get the right position, but it starts pulling it in. Then you can get 1 in the bottom or 2 in the bottom if you want, and start drawing them in. And then you still have to use because it's putting weight on that, and because the rear subframe's not in there, there's a bit of movement on that big plate. And also if you push down on the frame, the chassis, because it's on the swing arm, it does move the engine a little bit when these bolts are not in. So you have to certainly line these up straight, because if you don't, you will get them skewy and strip the head or the block, depending which one it is, because it's on the block, that one. But I say they're all in now. As you see, the loom's still a mess everywhere. I did have a little bit of a problem with this loom. Went trapped between over the top, which didn't look safe enough for me, whether it's the correct position or not, but I'm finding it's going to be safer having it going along here. There is a clip going along here, there is a clip that clips into that plastic ties that up together, Kawasaki one, but I might use a few more just to secure it in. And then this one on your normal bike will go on the inside of the top of the frame, but because I've got a large plenum, I run it around the top, and the tank does cover it with the tank cover as well. There's enough space for that. But I've got to say, added bits here for, like, I've got Bosch secondary injectors, you can tell by the style plug. So tomorrow, or maybe the day after, because I might be on the ZR, but next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the clutch slave cylinder back on. It has leaked a little bit of fluid, so I'll have to bleed that through as well. There's a hose that goes from here here to here. We'll get that on. We'll get the back plate on there, get the inner sprocket on, get the chain on, and make sure we can get that on properly before, because I have had it before now where I've forgotten to put the chain on, and it's caused difficulties. It's like this. I've just realised what I've done, schoolboy error, is that chain needed to go round that. I might just get it. Oh yes, just got it. Chain needed to go round that. And when you put the engine in, especially on the ZR14, you haven't got enough space to pull the chain round to do it on. So you either have to pull the shaft back or take the engine back out again, get it round. But I've managed to get that one round. I might have scratched the inside of there, but you know, there's got plenty of scratches on it because this is used as a race bike and a road bike. As I say, all these gubbins here are all done. It's just, there's a lot of wire and tidying up to do, a hell of a lot more than what I'd like to do really, but so I'll plod on with it and it will soon be looking like a H2 again. The engine went in a bit quicker than what I thought. I didn't think I'd get the engine in today. I thought I would only get the loom particularly in place because it's quite finicky to get it through all these bits, you know, through the frame here, especially with all your power commanders and your connectors. So that's that, but everything's pretty much in place where it needs to be. Yeah, right, I'm gonna get off and I will, well, actually turn around and give you a bit of a forward, and then I'll explain what I might be doing next. Hi, as you can see, engine's in, as I was saying just before, but I'm going to be moving on to fitting all the clutch in. The lines, the metal pipes for the clutch, got to be in specific places. I get them in the right places, get the loom tidied up into places, the main parts of the loom. I'll be this chain. Well, I've supposed to tell you about the chain before. I'm going to get water pipes in. There's a water pipe here on this side, as I was showing, near the supercharger. But there is one that goes from the thermostat all the way to the other side between the supercharger and the engine. It is difficult to do if you I've got the throttle bodies back on and planning back on and that, so I'll do that now, get that onto over to the other side. Also, when you're plugging all the loom in, try not to never forget the coolant temperature sensor. It's at the back of the engine on these, which is going to be between the supercharger on the block, but the main injectors and the throttle bodies will be in the way, so you need to get it on now, plugged in now, before you put the throttle bodies on. Otherwise you'll have a nightmare to try and do it and you might have to take everything back off again. Also, I've got a front and rear camera system for this bike, so I need to find a way of mounting the screen where I'm going to put it so I can see it. And the wiring, obviously there's a lot of wiring on this bike considering it's only a smaller bike really in a way. And front and rear camera, need to figure out how to mount them and where I'm going to mount them, because I'm going to be using the rear camera as a rear view mirror type thing, so you know, for the road, because I'll be having the wings on. I'd like to see what's coming up behind me, depending on who it is, sort of thing, you know, unmarked police, bikes, whatever, cars, you name it. Don't want to be doing anything silly and not know what's coming up behind me anyway before I even start doing something silly. Actually, I don't do anything silly, to be fair, only on private roads, airfields, as you know, from top speed. So let's say there's a lot of pipes there. I'm going to get all the water pipes sorted. Obviously, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Probably get the chain, get the inner sprocket on and all that, and the covers on. Oh yeah, and get the covers on for the airbox on this side, well, I say the airbox, it's because it's supercharged. You have the air filter actually on the superchargers here, right here. So I'll get the inner bit on, get the air filter in, and all the pipe work in on that once I've done the coolant pipes. Now I run an MWR race filter. They don't normally sell it to anyone really, but it's a race. And they sell you a road filter, MWR road filter, but an actual racing filter, which has an adjustable plate for directing the air, which is a bit of experimenting, but also they are very free flowing, so you have to keep an eye on them regular. You can't just like, oh, leave it and leave it and leave it and leave it, you know, for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles. You have to check it quite regular with unfortunately it's racing filter. You'll get, like, they use them at the TT, so you get what, 200-300 miles when they use it there at the TT, and then it's absolutely caked to shite by then. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for now. As I said, the clocks, I've put the clocks on, still got the clip to film on for now. And pretty much plugged most things that go in there, like relays and, you know, all the gubbins like that. So I'd say I'm going to leave it with the straps on for tonight because I'm too tired, even though it's only late afternoon, but I've been working most of the afternoon. My stomach's swollen. I'm just about to try and make appointments for getting a new socket made on my leg, but they haven't rang me back yet, because I need to be up and running and walking for March anyway, if this video's gone out before March. Right, I will speak to you shortly. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you again soon.